Hi, welcome back. We're joined now by several representatives of various news outlets, podcasts around the community to just kind of talk about our expectations and reactions to the live draw. We're going to start talking about D2 college, then we're going to talk about D1 college, we're going to talk about club after that. Let's kick it off talking about D2 college. I will say I'm going to take the opportunity to point out the matchup that I'm personally most excited for. Right around dinner time Saturday, a little early dinner, but right around dinner time Saturday, 4:10 p.m., we have BBQ Pit. Personally very excited just for the name of that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And hello, everyone. My name is Naresh. We're just going to do a quick little introductions first and talk about where we are affiliated with. And then we will just go through the pools, talk about what matchups, as Sarah was talking about, what matchups are intriguing to us. And then we'll go from there. Like I said, I'm Naresh. I'm part of Fast Break News, also the Hoopside Chats podcaster, I guess you can call it. I'm also the head coach of Rutgers Quidditch or Rutgers Quadball. And yeah, that's all there is to me. And we will introduce Brandy.
My name's Brandy Gomez. I play club ball with Texas Heat, Hill Country Heat, my bad. And I'm chaser and a beater.
I'm Julie Picasso. I played for Texas State. I'm a beater. And we host The Small Hoop. It's a podcast.
Hi, I'm Emily. Sorry about that. I am one of the hosts of the Beat podcast with Ian Skura. I have played for Tufts University, what was Quadball Club Boston, Lone Star, Texas Hill Country Heat, and the Bosnian Bears. And I am the events director for Major League Quadball, and I was on gameplay for 6 years.
D2 coming back for real this time is pretty exciting. Wes, what teams are you looking forward to really seeing take advantage of this opportunity to get out there and play as opposed to these teams are usually the teams that like have an okay time in D1, but it'll be against other teams.
Hi. So I play with Texas State, and we're really excited to go. We're happy we were able to go D2. We're in a very competitive region, and we think we can show up in D2 against the teams we're playing. Yeah, we feel really good about our chances. And we're really excited to be able to show up and show out.
Is there a particular matchup you're really looking forward to?
Well, I just saw the pool, and I'm really excited to play Middlebury. I think that'll be a really great game. I think it's Rochester is also in our pool. We've been watching a lot of film on them.
Yeah.
And we're really excited.
Yeah, I mean, getting into Pool G, it's Middlebury as a Pot 1 team is definitely very interesting. They have a couple of high-quality athletes. A lot of them are very young players, but with Paul Ruffalo, who is their captain, their coach, they're able to have a strong performance at Northeast Regionals in terms of getting their clutch wins when they needed to. And that Middlebury Texas State game, I think, is going to be very, very interesting because there aren't too many teams, I think, in this D2 pool, especially coming out of the MQC and the Northeast, that can really handle Texas State's physicality. And I think Middlebury is one of the few teams that potentially can. And so that matchup will definitely be very interesting. And then Julie was talking about Rochester, and I definitely think Rochester is a very fun team. And I think someone was saying earlier in AQD where Rochester, you don't want to be pulling them as a Pot 4 team. And I completely agree. Amongst all of these teams, Rochester has MLQ talent that played for Rochester Whiteout. They have a tough, super resilient team. They're well coached. And this team is they'll never back down from a challenge. And we saw that at Northeast Regionals where they came back from a 11-goal deficit to beat Boston in one of the pool play games. So this pool is definitely very, very interesting. And I think it's very well matched. And I think something that will be apparent as we go forward is how important will it be for teams that might have played more regularly versus teams that might not have played more regularly, especially in this game, in this pool where you see Middlebury and Middlebury play consistently with the MQC. Texas State had a huge couple of tournaments the last couple of weeks and in the last month and a half. And unfortunately, Rochester I'm pretty sure Ball State haven't been able to play too many games in the spring. And so that'll be the determining factor, whether what teams show up ready to go and what teams are not able to come out and take on those higher level challenges that this pool might face.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see Rochester play. I know a lot of those players from the summer, and I think they've got a really incredible grit to them. For one, I think I'm really excited to see Purdue at nationals again. I think that's the story that we love to see of like a program kind of bouncing
And
back.
yeah, I mean, let's go into Pool E with Michigan State, Tufts, Minnesota, and Vermont. I think for me personally, my first initial reaction was Michigan State. I thought was potentially good enough to make the D1. Oh yeah, it looks like I can. If I'm, I apologize, Emily. I cannot hear you, dude. I cannot hear Emily, so I am so sorry about that.
Yeah, I got you. So apologies, Naresh cannot hear me speak currently, so he can't tell that I'm talking. But yeah, I think the story of Purdue is really exciting. We love to see new teams coming out, and I'm excited. I think they drew a pool that will give them a lot of opportunity to play teams they haven't got to play. So I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited to see the Virginia United team using the USQ gameplay policy of combining teams to keep people alive. I think they put a lot of work in during the Act 5 conference season. And so they obviously worked really hard. They got that 1 seed, and it should be interesting to see that matchup.
My apologies. We're having some I'm having technical difficulties because I'm not able to hear Emily. So Emily, I publicly apologize. Before I rudely interrupted Emily, I'm gonna go back into Pool E. Just gonna go through there, and then I'll let everyone else handle it. Like I said, this is Michigan State, Tufts, Minnesota, and Vermont. Personally, as soon as I came out with this, I think for me it was very interesting because I thought Michigan State was potentially a good enough team to get into the D1 bracket, and so for me, easy pool winner is Michigan State. I think they should come out of this as the 1 seed. Everything else is going to be very interesting because I think Minnesota is such a young team and they have been recruiting very heavily the last couple of months, even year and a half or so. So I think this young upstart team should really be a fun team to watch. And so it's going to come down to the familiarity between the Tufts and Vermonts, where they've played each other. They should have played each other a couple times in MQC. So it'll definitely be interesting what happens when these teams match up. And then for me, I think I have Michigan State coming out of this on top. And maybe this is slightly of a hot take, but I have Minnesota coming out of this as the pot 2 team.
Yeah. Any other thoughts for D2?
Yeah, so we're going to switch on some guests, but I think the thing I'm most excited about for this D2 this D2 college division is just seeing how different teams from different regions get to match up, because I think that's something that's so hard to see during the regular season unless teams are traveling a lot. So it'll really be like a statement of how each region kind of matches up and deals with different people, because I think Texas State has obviously got that Southwest hitting, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how they maybe match up with the beater core from UR. Yeah, there's also really excited to see ASU here. ASU is such a powerhouse in the West, and I think they're one of the oldest college teams in the country, although they had a couple of years where they didn't exist as much. So getting to see them resurge is really exciting.